Hello, welcome my friend of the Tenerifemoney channel to another video tutorial, this time from the Tenerifemoney channel. Today, in this part 1 of this video tutorial, we are going to learn together how to analyze, how to interpret the charts of the exchange. In this particular instance, we're taking a look at the real-time situation chart of the exchange between Bitcoin and dollar. A lot of people have contacted us basically asking for some input on how to interpret this, and therefore we have decided to release a series of video tutorials which will show you how we can interpret the charts and how they can be a very good source of, let's say, prediction. Remember, these are not infallible systems, of course. There is always a detail of risk, but we can always minimize the risk as much as possible. First of all, here is this very famous and very reliable chart provider called CryptoWatch. We will leave a link to this particular chart in the description of the video. This is a chart that is called a candlestick chart. Why is that the case? Well, if we zoom in, we can easily identify why. Because you can determine up here on the left, by the way, what is the time lapse that you want to use for your chart. So you can customize the charts according to basically 1 second, 2 seconds, up to 1 week. Usually the average is about 1 day for let's say for short trading of Bitcoin, short time trading. But if you're thinking long-term trading, then obviously you need a wider picture, and therefore it's best to select 1 week candlesticks. So basically each time, in this particular instance, we're using 1 day charts. Each time basically there has been more activity demanding to buy Bitcoin, then this candle will be highlighted in green. So that is the lowest point of the day. This is the highest peak of the day. This has been the average of the day, which is why it is highlighted. And as you can see, it's a green candle because it has increased over the previous day. The following day, the opposite happened. There were more people selling than people buying, and therefore the total activity for that particular 24-hour period was negative. And that is why the candle is, of course, colored in red. However, as you can see, there's basically a pattern that is being reproduced each time, which basically shows us that at the moment Bitcoin is following pretty much a quite regular pace. So in order to understand basically this concept, we are going to now use another indicator, a very basic but very interesting indicator. Here, if we go to our settings, we now activate the Bollinger Bands. What are these Bollinger Bands? Well, basically, in order to understand the Bollinger Bands, we have to see how they are built. There's basically a line at the top, there's a line at the bottom, and they are basically also representing a line in the middle, which is the dotted line. The dotted line represents what is called a moving average, and it's basically an average considered over usually a 20-day period. Why are they useful, these Bollinger Bands? Well, basically, have a look at this. It's basically, imagine you're holding a spring, a very, very powerful spring in your hands. If you're compressing the spring, what happens the very time you release it? Well, when they are very much compressed, The top and the bottom of the spring, which is basically the top and the bottom Bollinger Band, are very much close to one another, okay? So when they are at the closest, you can easily understand that there is no more room for compression, and when you're going to release it, what happens? They're going to expand quickly towards the top. This is basically what the Bollinger Bands are actually showing. This is the moment, for instance, where they were at their closest, they couldn't be compressed anymore, and as you can see, this has produced into a phenomenal expansion. This is the peak towards the top, and so the price has gone up. As you can see, when it is at the maximum level of expansion, obviously it's time that the market basically will start compressing again, because it means so many people have have bought Bitcoin that at some point some of them will want to cash their profit and they will start selling. So this is basically what is going to happen here, up to a point where it will get once again close as possible to then raise and expand again. At the moment, we are at a moment where we have just passed a very high expansion level. There is a bit of uncertainty because, as you can see, the trend is still that the two bands seem to be going wider, which is why the price is actually going up. But at the same time, this could also be another curve very similar, for instance, to this one, where it was going up, then it has retracted for a tiny bit, and then ready for another massive expansion. So the Bollinger Bands are indeed very, very useful. They're not infallible. At the moment, they're showing us that either of the two could happen. It could continue to expand for a while, or it could maybe be compressed again. But if that happens, be ready for another massive expansion once again. This is why here, considering this potential, considering this repeated pattern, considering also what all the financial gurus are saying about the Bitcoin and the power of reaching basically the sky very soon, this is why we highly recommend here at the Tenerifemoney channel that you take a close look at the businesses that we propose here, My Paying Crypto Ads, and also the latest Yes My Bitcoin, which is a business based on Bitcoin, but you can also use any other provider like Payeer, for instance, to buy your own investment packages. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this first lesson of the video tutorials on how to analyze the charts. If you have any comments, please leave either a comment below or contact us through the help desk. There is a link right here in the description of this video, or if you want, basically, you can simply also email us tenerifemoney@gmail.com. Well, that's all for today. Greetings from the entire staff of the Tenerifemoney channel. Greetings from Tenerife. See you at the top and on next video. Goodbye.